What is up, guys? Welcome on back to TK's Garage. And it seems that the slashing or cost-cutting measures of Carlos Tavares has now put the entire every financial guru or market expert has saying they've gone way too far, and that it could mean possibly even bankruptcy for Stellantis. I'm not saying it. Everybody on Wall Street saying it. Let's talk about it.
For the longest time. Whoa. For the longest
Yo, Percocet, Miley Percocet, Percocet, Miley Percocet, Represent, got it represent.
So welcome on back to TK's Garage. And yeah, I saw this over on Bloomberg this morning. It dropped at 5 o'clock in the morning Pacific time. I'm going to put it for you up here. It says Stellantis keeps slashing in spite of signs it has cut too deep. CEO Carlos Tavares isn't letting up on a workforce that's endured years of pressure to pare costs. Stellantis is increasingly getting pushback from investors, dealers, and unions alike over what they view as efforts by management to cost cut their way to better earnings. And before I keep reading this, yeah, it works in the short term, maybe a quarter, maybe 2 quarters, and then the chickens come home to roost. And that's what's happened here with Stellantis. The maker of Peugeot sedans, Jeep SUVs, and Ram pickups has so far responding by continuing to squeeze its workforce for more savings. Just this week, Stellantis invited its employees in Posey, a Paris suburb, to meet recruiters for companies including the French utility and aircraft equipment manufacturer Safran in the weeks leading up to the forum. Stellantis offered webinars on hunting for roles elsewhere, polishing one's resume, and preparing for job interviews. Isn't that crazy? They don't do that here in the U.S., but they're doing that in France for their workforce. They want to make sure they get a job somewhere else. They want to continue to cut and cut and cut. What worries countless people I've spoken to within the company is that the years of pressure Tavares has applied to Stellantis has gone too far and been detrimental to the business. Managers are exasperated to see valuable members of their team repeatedly getting nudged to accept supposedly voluntary departure packages. You get an email, then you get another email, then another one, said Laurent Otschel, a Stellantis representative for White Collar Employees Group, CFE CGC, said in a phone interview. Then you can get multiple phone calls if you persist in wanting to stay with the company. I call this harassment. It is leading to massive loss of skills. Scrutiny of Tavares has been mounting after waves of executive departures, basically all the people that made your company what it is now. Plummeting first half profits and delays of crucial new models, some blow the blown deadlines on continuous rounds of budget cuts and a push to employ more engineers in lower cost countries, like Morocco, India, and Brazil, while paring back in pricier locales such as Paris and Detroit. A Stellantis spokesperson said the automaker is transforming to achieve its objectives with respect to electrification and facing Chinese competitors. Now, this is the other thing that pisses me off about Stellantis. Stellantis is trying to be China. You're not ever going to be China. That's not going to happen. You just have to be you and look at the other markets that are going to allow you to thrive in them, because they're going to box out the Chinese. And that's Carlos Tavares' biggest thing. Like, it's literally, let's be Chinese. No, man, that's not what these brands were built on. Month after month, we've been alerting you on negative impacts of organizational re-engineering at the executive level, but also within the procurement, engineering, and software divisions, one representative said. According to prepared remarks seen by Bloomberg, This hunt for white-collar positions in plants, this obstinacy in wanting to externalize projects and reduce headcount is shocking. I mean, look, the facts are the facts. It is what it is. Like, there's no other way to sugarcoat this or say what it is, except it is what it is. And I think it's going to, between the constant cost cutting and now these disastrous decisions, which have caused the stock price to lose almost 50% of its value in 6 months. Think about that. 40% of a company's worth gone in 6 months. And now, you know, we'll have a different video for you later today, but now they're getting class action status. SEC is looking at wildly crazy options trading that's going on with the Stellantis right now. They're getting shorted like crazy. Why? Why would big money managers now be trying to short Stellantis? I could tell you why they're playing options with them and trying to bust them down. Because it's there. They don't have a lot of room to get back to profitability because they've cut all the profitability out. They've cut so much and used cheap parts and cheaper suppliers and crap products that they've cut profitability away. And when it's Bloomberg and Wall Street Journal, I mean, even Jim Cramer on CNBC is saying Stellantis is a frigging disaster. When you see major financial managers telling you this is not even a hold anymore, this is a cut your losses, sell. This is a, we're seeing this stock maybe at $10 in January. Oof. And it's only going to get worse once these Dodge Chargers are getting delivered to dealerships. Once those show up and are delivered to dealerships, night, over with. Because as those things sit and nobody buys them, nobody wants to spend over $110,000 for a $70,000 EV that's going to be worth $25,000 in 15 or 16 months after the sale. No. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. It's bankruptcy time. And guess what? Now the board is realizing it, but it's too late. That's why they're floating the idea of getting rid of Carlos Tavares. That's why they're floating the idea of finding a new CEO. And that's why they got a little bump in their stock price. And then after they do that, what do? We're going to lay off more workers. We're going to cut more workers. We're going to cut. We're going to not honor the contracts that we signed with the UAW. We're going to keep playing all these Mickey Mouse games. We're going to keep getting bad press and keep pushing our stock price down. I don't know if Tavares has a bet. Maybe did he short his own company? Is he like the Pete Rose of the stock market? I don't know. But I can tell you this. He's systematically not just destroying Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram, but Maserati and Peugeot and DS and everything. It's all crap now. And there's one person to blame for it. So keep cutting, Carlos. You won't be here by next year, and neither will your company.